And when I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do in sports, all I knew at that time was I wanted to be an agent. So I talked to him about it, and he said to me, "You are a woman. You are not going to last in the field of sports unless you are laying on your back." I said, "Okay, that's all I needed. Okay, that's thank you for telling me that." And after that, I just hit the ground running.
Group chats in the Black journalist community have been a true blessing. I met today's guest via group chat through GroupMe back around 2019. The one and only Miss Calli Kinsler. I was in Atlanta with my manager Marin, and we was down there for a conference, and I was looking for people to connect with while I was down there. Happened so, Calli was working for the Atlanta Hawks at the time, and let's just say she hooked us up with some great tickets. I'm excited to bring her on today as she is one of the best media professionals that I know, and she talks about the reason why she loves being amongst the control chaos of it all. So that's all I'm going to give y'all as a preview for this show. Ladies and gentlemen, here is my conversation with Calli Kinsler. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today I am excited to welcome in one of the best media professionals in the game, the one, the only, Miss Calli Kinsler. Calli, how you doing today?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm good. You know, before we get started, I always like to check in and see how's everything been going with you. How's your mental health? How's everything?
Everything is great. I am the new mom to a beautiful baby boy. So I've been learning how to
Congratulations.
thank you. So I've been learning how to maneuver work parent balance. So that's been a struggle and a blessing. And I wouldn't change anything for the world. This is what I call my broke best friend.
Look, I have to say I have two of them, and it's rewarding. You know what I mean? Like, you think about the stuff you can do professionally, and a lot of times it's easy to move around. Let's not, kid
Mhm.
ourselves. But there's also the motivation when you
Oh yeah.
have a little one looking up to you and they can see you doing something you love. That's going to
Oh
inspire
yeah.
him. You know what I mean? Like my son, he wants to
Mhm.
get into digital art and graphics. Like he's going to go to Baltimore School for the Arts,
Oh
and
wow.
he's like, and I'm like making sure he follows his own path. But when he kind of steps out of line, because sometimes little boys they want to do their own thing,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
always remind him. I said, "Look, I am blessed to be able to do what I want because I put in the hard work. So watch me
Mhm.
and be better." So
Right.
this will be fun. I tell everybody enjoy every step. It's easy to say, "Oh, I can't wait till they can walk. I can't wait till they can talk." With my daughter, it was like watching her every step, being right there for her. First time she crawled, first time she walked, first time she
Mhm.
said words. It was so much fun. So I'm really
And he's
excited for you.
definitely
And
on the move. He's definitely on the move. The boy came out the room watching the NBA finals.
oh
So
wow,
he's already, oh yeah, like he's already well versed. We sit and our morning routine is watching Gracie's Corner, and we switch to ESPN for breakfast.
mm-hmm.
And he sits with his grandfather, and they will watch basketball now, of course, and that's his thing. Basketball and football. I'm just trying to figure out which one he's gonna go into, and because he'll be tall enough to be a hooper, because he didn't get that height from me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all right. I'm happy about it. As long as he follows in the footsteps, I'm proud. I'm a proud mama.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that's exactly kind of what happened with me in wrestling. My mother she was on bed rest, and then I kept kicking, and then after I was born, I kept kicking every time wrestling came on. She said, and then after I
Mhm.
was born, I was always watching it with her, my grandfather, my dad, or my uncles, and
Mhm.
now look
Yes.
like I called my uncle when I got news that I was getting a new show, and he was like,
Uh-huh.
"Well, who would have thought you took it this far?" I said, "Well, all those tapes that you let me hold." So, it's your son, him being groomed right now, it's a beautiful thing.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm excited about it. I'm so excited.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get started. When did you know that you wanted to get into media?
Woo. I actually started out at FAMU,
Mhm.
and I didn't really know then. I actually went to school to work in agricultural economics. One, I hate math. I'm allergic to everything outside. but they were giving me a full ride, and that was the school that everyone in my family went to. So I was like, well, FAMU it is.
Hmm.
But while I was there, kind of realizing, I want to do something else. This is not my passion. I'm here for the money. I want to do something that I love. I grew up playing sports. My daddy has always been my coach. He was my football coach. He was my basketball coach. So it's always been ingrained in me to love sports. But I also like talking to people, and I like being in the mix. I like finding out what the public likes and what they don't like, and what causes people to be in an uproar on Twitter and things like that. So I kind of switched gears a little bit to public relations and media relations, just to get my little, my toe wet. And the motivation for me was when I had a family member who was a an agent, and when I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do in sports, all I knew at that time was I wanted to be an agent. So I talked to him about it, and he said to me, "You are a woman. You are not going to last in the field of sports unless you are laying on your back." I said, "Okay, that's all I needed. Okay, thank you for telling me that." And after that, I just hit the ground running. I transferred to the University of South Carolina. I started interviewing people at ESPN whenever they came to visit our campus. I became one of the actually the only black female sports writer at USC. And my first article was on the front page. I still have the newspaper to this day. And I just kind of kept it in full stride ever since then, and just kind of put my hands in everything that I could get into to kind of learn a little bit more and just be a sponge. And prove him wrong that I can do this if I just work hard. I don't have to, be what you might think that I'm going to be in order to succeed. And clearly, I've been doing pretty good, because now it's as the roles have been reversed every time he sees me. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, you remember that time you told me that I wasn't going to be able to make it in sports or media in general because I'm a woman and I have to be on my back? You remember that? Now I got 2 degrees. Okay, I just wanted to double check and see how that's going for you. But ever since then, hit full stride, and here we are, a woman in sports. Where is it? Other side. There we
I
go.
love it. Now, you don't think maybe it was words of motivation in a different way?
Mhm. I was definitely motivated.
You know what I'm saying? Like from him, like maybe he was trying to
Oh
motivate
no. Oh no, he meant it. He meant
Okay.
that. He meant it, because I
Trying to
had
have the
other
benefit of the
cousins.
doubt.
Oh no, I had other male cousins that wanted to be in the sports, and he would jump at the opportunity to help them, jump at it.
Mm.
But when it came to me, no, you're not gonna make it. It's not for you. Okay, thank you for your time. I'll see you at Thanksgiving, and we'll reconvene, and we'll see how this goes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh. I'm obviously because, selfishly, I'm happy that you didn't listen because then we wouldn't have met. But
Right.
it's yeah, that's crazy. And it's unfortunate because you think about how many people are deterred when they hear that,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and you think about like, all right, maybe I won't because I don't have a chance. And there's so much talent out there. I
Mhm.
always ironic, like today I was listening to I Am Athlete, and they had Joy Taylor on, and
Mhm.
she discussed about, you know, basically, being who she is, understand she's had to eat a lot of shit, listen to a lot of
Mhm.
jokes, but she knew what she wanted to do and be able to give her opinion, you know what I mean? And like
Oh yeah.
ev- most of my friends are women, and a lot of them are in sports and wrestling and in this, content space. And one of the things, like shout out to my homie Sir Wilkins of the Jobber Tears podcast, we always talk about we got to do
Mhm.
our best to be supportive. It's been times
Yes.
where I've gotten on Twitter. Oh boy, a couple years ago, my good friend Ashley Baker, who's like one of my best friends,
Uh huh.
decided to make a take about, as of right now, well, no, you know what? He's still going to be my quarterback. It's just if we're going to be on the Ravens or wherever. But she made a take
Yeah,
about,
I saw that this morning.
yeah, she said that Lamar Jackson had reached his ceiling. So
Mm.
this is right after the MVP season. So I'm mad. How dare you say he ain't won the Super Bowl yet? Ashley, what is wrong with you? So this is a one-on-one conversation that we're going
Yeah.
back and forth. I get on Twitter and I see guys lighting her up. Hold up, this is what we not going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had said something like, she need to get back in the kitchen. I said, don't be disrespectful. I said, like, you're just mad because she says something and she has a platform, this, that, and the other. Now, like, yeah, we had it out because of her opinion, not because of she's a woman with that opinion,
Woman.
but
Mm-hmm.
because, like, no, I don't agree with you, but I'm not going to, when I see other people getting out of line, I'm not going to be like, yeah, you right. No, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what I mean. I tell guys, like, we got to support our friends.
And it's a little. I will say it's a little difficult. Because a lot of times, especially for me,
Mhm.
I can speak from my personal experience. Nobody really believes, like when I say that I work in sports, that when I say that I I like working in talent relations, I like working with media. All they think, oh, you're around the players.
Mhm.
Get your mind out of that. Get your mind out of that. Like that's not what I'm here for. I actually genuinely have a passion, in the field of sports, especially more specifically basketball. Like I love it. Basketball's my favorite sport. Like we dribble down the court, but I just don't think that people really take me seriously. And a lot of times I feel like I have to prove myself. I'm always having to prove myself. And growing up, my dad kind of saw the the passion that I have for sports, and he knew that I was going to end up working in sports. He just didn't know in what capacity.
Mhm.
In his mind, he wanted me to be in the WNBA, and I was just like, I am not that good of a point guard. I am not gonna hold you. Do not. I am okay. I am not that good to be having those types of dreams, but um, I always felt like I had to prove myself in such unorthodox ways, and it's a little tiring. But if I gotta keep doing these things to push through these glass ceilings, I have to just keep moving forward, not letting the noise get to me, and just having to prove people wrong. And I'm exhausted having to do it, and I know it's never going to end, because it's always that one person that doesn't believe that you belong in this male dominated realm. But you know, I just keep on going, and I don't have too many male friends that that will say, Callie, that's not the one you would mess with. Callie's actually good at what she does. She's not just hanging around and just chilling. No, she actually enjoys what she does, and she's passionate about it. Um,
Mhm.
so people outside of my circle don't really know. All they see is if I post something, they'll see, oh, she's with a player, but they don't see that I had to prep that player for whatever event that he's at. They don't see that I have to talk him through things, especially like for when I was at the Hawks, having to talk through with players when they're at community events and they just joined the team. And it's just like, oh, I am around all these kids. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to anybody. I don't know the questions that media is going to ask me. That's what I'm here for. And having
Mhm.
to loosen them up and just like, it's okay. You all right? I'm gonna make sure that you are well taken care of, and that you're gonna get through this, and you're not gonna have to worry about anything. But they don't see that. All they see is Callie's around the player. I wonder what
Mhm.
she's doing. No, Callie is working. I'm working. That's what I'm doing.
And people don't realize, like, sometimes after a while it gets old. Not old in the sense of
Mhm.
you don't want to do it no more, but it's like, okay, I'm around them all the time. So it's not
Mhm.
a big deal, like, so like when we met, it was Trey Young's rookie year.
Yeah.
And shout out to Marin. So we was down in Atlanta for this when I was at Johns Hopkins. We was down in Atlanta. I forgot the name of the conference, but it's actually that was the week I had came up with the idea to do this podcast when we was down there.
Love
Um
it.
and so, shout out to you because I put in the group chat on Group Me. Hard to believe. I said, hey, I'm in Atlanta. Anybody want to link up? And I appreciate you extending the invitation, and you gave us the grand tour. I still to this day think that's one of the greatest basketball arenas. I see why,
Oh
like,
yeah.
if people
Oh
not in
yeah.
the game, I can see why.
Oh yeah.
And the merchandise is very consumer friendly as opposed to like going to like a Wizards or a Nets game.
Mhm.
So I was like, man, if I was a Hawks fan, I would buy some merch, but I'm not.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't justify it. I still got my cup though. But
Good.
like, you gave us the grand tour of the arena. And so I definitely want to appreciate and show my appreciation for that.
Of
What
course.
made you decide on the media relations side versus the journalism side, or the the content creation side?
I like I like to call it controlled chaos. I
Okay.
love being able to be around and do things and walking around and working red carpets and prepping athletes and talking to media. Like I like those types of things.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and again, I feel like I should step into some type of content creation bag. Because my dad is just like, you're literally up watching stuff all the time, watching videos of everybody else. Why not do it yourself? But I'm just like, like, that's not something that I'm like fully passionate about. Where I know I like the controlled chaos of running around events and being able to put my finger in everything and help and uh I just settled kind of in that space of
Mm-hmm.
being able to. I love to run around. That's basically the gist of it. I love to run around, and I love to be heavily involved and make those connections, because what I think sometimes that people forget is, although yes, these are athletes and this is talent, they're
Mm-hmm.
people.
Right.
They're people. So being able to just have a conversation, if we're waiting on like an interview, being able to just have a conversation, because a lot of times people just sitting there and have no idea what they're doing, who they're supposed to be speaking with, um, and just kind of help the flow of things. I will never forget working when the Super Bowl came to Atlanta. We had the EA night,
Mm-hmm.
and whew, that was my first time ever working a red carpet, or at that time a blue carpet of that caliber, and they literally just threw me into it. And I was like, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. And I was, walking all the people down the carpet, and then I just so he happened to see little baby just standing there on the side with all his people. He has no idea what he's doing. He was very confused. And I walk up to him. I don't know what possessed me to do that, but like I walk up to him and like, "Do you know what you're supposed to be doing?" He said, "No, they just dropped me off." Okay. Give me a second. So I had to go ask and just be like, hey, is little baby supposed to be walking down the blue carpet? Is he supposed to be doing an interview? Because I think at the end of it was like complex.
Mm-hmm.
I said, is he supposed to be talking to people? Like, what is he doing? Oh yeah, he should have been on the red carpet, on the blue carpet. Nobody was gonna get him. I got it. Don't worry about it. So I went and had to get all of his little entourage set it up, and he was like, "Y'all go over there and play Madden. I'll bring it back in just a second." And I had to like kind of give him the rundown, and that was my first time ever having to do something like that. But I loved it so much. Like I loved it so much, and being able to have a conversation with him and just walk him. Like, okay, and plus I like to keep my finger on the pulse of what's happening in culture and media, whatever. So I knew some of the drama that was going on with him at the time. So I was like, yeah, you're not
Mm-hmm.
gonna talk to TMZ. We're gonna let you move over here and you're gonna talk to this person. Like I've walked enough down the carpet to know like what questions might have been asked of that person if I knew enough about what they had going on. So I was able to kind of use my own, I guess, deductive reasoning to try to figure out, okay, so who should I let him talk to and who should I avoid? And that was just me doing stuff on the fly. I had no idea if I was doing anything correct, but that was me
Mm-hmm.
doing it on the fly. And afterwards, thankfully, he was just like, I appreciate you. Like, you appreciate you. I was like, okay, all right, see you later. And it kind of got easier over time. But being able to be in those type of spaces, I just love it. It's so much fun to me. It's so much fun to be like that entire week. I slept in my car. Clearly, this is post pre baby, but I slept in my car because I was just like, there's no reason for me to go back home. I kept clothes in my car. I would go to my office, change my clothes, and then go on about my day and go to the office. They
Wow.
had a shower in there. Like but the thing is, I loved it. It was so much fun. And I was just like, yeah, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep doing stuff like this. And I just kept it up.
Wow. That's that's amazing. And see, this is, back to like, I guess the theme of the episode, just proving yourself as a woman, you
Hmm.
know, willing to take those extra steps and everything, and willing to go above and beyond to make sure, because, yeah, like you said, instead of going all the way home, just sleeping in your car,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
found a good
No,
parking spot in the parking garage and put a blanket over in my back seat, and I would just go to sleep. Set an alarm, get up, go into the office. They had a shower and a gym. Take a
hmm.
shower, well, work out, take a shower, and then I'm just walking upstairs. I'm there before anybody else is there.
Wow, man, and nobody
And
knew.
working on clips. No, nobody knew. And I'd be working on clips by the time someone else walked in. And it's like, you're here before me? Yeah, yeah, I am. Good morning.
Now I want to ask you this. You mentioned going to University of South Carolina, and then you went to West Virginia. What made you
Yes,
decide to go get your master's? Because one of the things I loved in the beginning, you said, I got 2 degrees. But what made you decide to go get your master's? Because a lot of times, in communications, people say, "Oh, you don't really need it," and some people say you do. So, what was your
yeah.
motivation?
To be quite honest, I was bored.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to learn something else.
Mm,
So I just went and started looking at degrees, the degree programs that were online, and I saw that West Virginia had a really good sports management. It was comprehensive sport industry management online program because I was like, I am not moving to the mountains. That's not happening. Because at that time I was also working part time for the Falcons game day and full time for the Hawks as
right.
their brand communications assistant and going to school. So again, I put myself in that controlled chaos of knowing, okay, I got a game on Sunday, then I got to make sure I got to get this test done, and then I got to go back to work on Monday. But I just honestly just wanted to learn something else, wanted to learn more about the industry and what else I could possibly tap into. So now I've started to look a little bit more into the social media side,
Hmm.
and got more into marketing after I had to do a whole marketing plan for as a project. So after I got the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more, I was like, okay, I think I want to get another degree. And my parents just like, why? like why would you do that when you don't have to? I was like, but I want to. I want to learn some more. And most of the time when you want to learn in the sports industry, for me, I'll say like you either have to know somebody or you need to have an internship. And I didn't have time to do that. Like I didn't have any more time to give. So I was just like, I know I can get things done on my own time in class after I've worked all of these hours at work and have a game and all that stuff. So I was just like, it's time for me to learn something new, figure out what else I can do. And I literally just applied and got accepted maybe a couple days after that.
Hmm.
And I was just like, well, we were on our way to a master's.
There you go. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate like your fandom for the Hawks and the Falcons? And does
uh,
it make it easier if it's not a 10? Does it make it easier working for those teams?
um, for the Hawks, I'm a full blown fan. I am
Okay.
a full blown fan. Tens across the board. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, for the Falcons, I give them a solid 5.
Okay.
I did not grow up a Falcons fan, even though don't let them know that. Even, but I didn't grow up a Falcons fan. I actually grew up a Cowboys fan.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah,
I,
I grew up
I,
a Cowboys fan.
I'm
Uh,
considering going back. It's
uh,
either if the Ravens don't do what they're supposed to do, and people
huh.
don't understand, it's bigger than just, oh, he's the quarterback. It's what he means to the city, how he's embraced it.
Correct.
So they need
Correct.
to get this done. And if they don't, I'm out.
Yeah.
Um,
And that
so
city
it's
is gonna
either
be in an uproar.
exactly. So it's either go back to the Cowboys where I was before the Ravens got here, and for 13 years was with
Uh-huh.
both, or wherever Lamar goes.
Yeah,
So
listen,
I,
we
I
are
can
going to
understand.
welcome you with open
Okay.
arms. We welcome you with open arms. You might get your heart broke because
Look, I survived. I don't know how I did. I survived Des caught it. And I was working at ESPN at the time and had to cut the highlight. So between that and that season, right? So between
hmm
that play and OBJ's one-handed catch, I've
oh my
probably seen every single camera angle of it because
god.
I had to cut it for Mike and Mike. And
Oh
you
my
don't really
god.
leave the Cowboys. You don't I don't get as emotionally invested no more. But like even last year, I'm like, okay, I'm rooting for them every game, so it's not like I really left. I just
Yeah.
don't wear my
You're just
Cowboys
taking a
jerseys
little break.
all the time.
Just taking a little
Yeah,
break.
But play
Um,
something from 92, 93. I'm watching.
but yeah, I will say for the Hawks, it definitely made it easier for me because I
Mm-hmm.
was, of course, way more invested, and I loved that they're a lot more tapped in as it relates to culture. And
Mm-hmm.
because I'm black, clearly, I want you to be able to tap in. And for the Falcons, like I said, I wasn't a fan going in, but because I was able to work those games, and I became, a itty bitty tiny fan of the
Mm-hmm.
team. And it still made it didn't really. I will say it wouldn't necessarily make a difference for me. Any team I
Okay.
work for, I always try to put my best foot forward. I always try to, do the best I can to make the brand better.
Yeah.
So it didn't necessarily make a difference, but I will say I enjoyed a little bit more working on the basketball side
Mm-hmm.
of things because I feel like I got to do a lot more as it relates to talent and all these cool activities outside of basketball comms or community comms and all that stuff. So I really I fandom doesn't really count
Okay.
in the day-to-day work ethic,
Yeah.
but I mean, it doesn't
So
it doesn't hurt either.
if the Commanders offered you a nice, penny, you would go?
Yeah,
Okay. I
different.
know.
It would be a different change of pace because I'm trying really hard to keep my little southern draw,
Yeah.
southern draw backed up. But
Well,
I've been in the South.
DC is still, well, it's Maryland's the northernmost the most northern southern state.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, so I would try. I like DC, so I mean, I wouldn't mind
Okay.
it. I wouldn't mind it. I would give it a go.
Even
I'd give it a
it's
go.
the rival.
Yeah, I would give it a go if they pay him well enough. You have to
Yeah.
pay some good money for me to go up there, especially because I again from the South. I don't do cold. Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
don't do
don't blame you.
cold. I don't do snow. I don't do none of that. So
Mm,
again, this goes back. You have to pay me some real good coin to
yeah.
get me to go up there. Woo, that just hurt my feelings thinking about it.
Oh man, oh man.
What up? It's your boy Blue Magic, owner of For Your Wear and one half of the Mixed Tag Show. Now, I know you've seen the announcements from some of your favorite podcasts in the wrestling. I've decided to expand my business to become a vendor so that people from the wrestling community have a better way to communicate with some of their favorites. So check out foryourwear.com and see if your favorite podcast or wrestler has partnered up with me. If not, let them know that they should. Also, if you're looking for a vendor for your merchandise, reach out to me at Blue Magic Grind, spell how it's down on Twitter or Instagram, or at For Your Wear, FORURWEAR, on Twitter and on Instagram. Shout out to Brian H. Waters and Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Their merchandise are already up, and they're one of the first ones that's reported, so go support them. All right? Peace.
What's been like some of your favorite events? You talked about, the
Ooh.
community stuff and just, working, close with the team and prepping.
Mhm.
What's been some of your favorite events?
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Loved it. Loved
Mm.
it because I was
Now
able
I
to
can
work
imagine
both
that's as
sides.
chaotic as it gets.
Oh my god. Woo! Yeah, the
Mm.
chaos ensues because all the fans well, for us, most of the fans got here Wednesday. Um
Mm.
and then come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, my family did not see me. They
Wow.
didn't know what I was doing. They didn't know where I was at. They would call me or text me. I'll call you back. I'm with Juju. I'll call you back. Like, and it was that was probably the highlight. I loved working that in both aspects. I was there for game day in the press
Mhm.
box, so helping with game day comms. Loved it. Running around and making sure that at that point, I don't know what possessed them to just print out all these books and not have any organization. I was like, see, no, I understand chaos, but we need some organization. Everybody running around trying to figure out stuff. So me and another girl kind of figured out a way to streamline getting the stats without
Mm.
making it everybody just crowding around and everybody just sitting there waiting.
Mm-hmm.
So Super Bowl is definitely one. Um, what's another? I love community events. So when the Hawks were opening up all of their courts
Yeah.
around the city, had a blast doing that because you were able to see the kids come out on the court and play and just run around. I got the opportunity to meet one of my favorite players, Lisa Leslie. So I was just like,
Nice.
oh, fangirling. Couldn't show it, but I was
Mm-hmm.
fangirling. Okay. She walked in, hi, I'm nice to meet you. Where am I supposed to be? And in my mind, I was just like, you don't even know that I still have your jersey. I can't fit it anymore, but I still have your jersey in my closet. Like, you don't know that. It was great.
Did you at least get a picture?
No, I didn't. I was
So
so hurt.
I
But
can.
I was trying not to fangirl.
I feel you.
I was trying so hard not to fangirl, and my supervisor at the time, she was like, I know what she means to you. Did you, you know what I'm saying? Did you talk to her?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I talked to her, but I didn't get a chance to get a picture, and I was so hurt about that. But it is forever ingrained in my mind.
Were you a Sparks fan?
No,
Okay,
I was her fan. That's it.
gotcha. See, I
I,
was. I'm a Laker fan, so
mhm.
when the WNBA started, it was like I'm a Sparks fan by default,
Yeah.
and then obviously becoming a fan and knowing what she means. And you remember Clubhouse? It's funny that
Yes.
like
Oh
Clubhouse
my
came
gosh.
and went.
Yeah.
There was one time I was in there and I got on stage and she was like, "Hi, Brian," and I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I only told Renee Washington. I was like, "Yo, I talked to Lisa Leslie on
Yes.
Clubhouse."
Oh, the joy, the sheer joy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, something else that I really enjoyed, but it wasn't necessarily on the sports side, more so on the talent relations side.
Mm-hmm.
When Dreamville came to Atlanta to record their album, we as a team wanted to give J. Cole some merch, like a nice little gift box to say thank you for choosing Atlanta to record.
Mm-hmm.
The highlight of my life. Let me tell you something. Highlight of my life. I enjoyed doing those things, and I had the opportunity to meet him, and that was the only time in my career that I actually like fangirl so much that I could not literally speak.
Wow,
I could
it
not speak.
happens.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. I was able to put together a cool little box for him. Put all of his gear in there. Wrote like a nice little handwritten note. Um, and the person that was the talent manager at the time, like I was shadowing him because I was still trying to learn the ins and outs of talent relations. At that time, and he was just like, "You want to come? You want to come to the studio? I want to drop off this box on behalf of the Hawks um, to J. Cole in Dreamville." I said, "Is the sky blue? Of course I want to come. Why would you ask me that? J. Cole is my favorite artist. Of course I want to go." And I worked a full day. I was at a game and then turned around after the game. It was maybe 10 o'clock at night. Had to put that box together and then drive to the studio and waited until I want to say 4:30, 5 o'clock in the studio, just sitting there,
Um,
to meet him and to hand because he was like, we need to hand him the box. We need that picture. So I
mm-hmm.
was sitting there and we were going and looking at different sessions that were happening. So I was able to sit in on like, I don't know if you listened to the song Wells Fargo on that album. I was able to sit in and listen to them record that song, and I really thought that I was like, this is a dream. I'm really sitting back here with my favorite label, with my favorite artist, trying to give them some Hawks gear. So being able to do like things outside of basketball too, like I enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
it so much. And was I exhausted? Yes, but I still made it to my office at 7 a.m. to do clips the next day. That was by the grace of God and a lot of Dunkin' Donuts that got me to that point.
So
That
you
got me
team
to that
Duncan over
point.
Starbucks?
Oh yeah, I'm a Dunkin' girly. I literally have ice. I literally have that in my cup right now. I'm
Same.
definitely a Dunkin' girly. So, being able to community events, the large scale events like your Super Bowl, and I haven't had the chance to actually work an All Star weekend, but I've been to a few. Have a
Mm-hmm.
blast every time. It's a great way to network, and just see what's going on. So I haven't had a chance to work that yet, but I'm speaking that into existence. And right now, I'm actually a PR consultant for Latanya Story, the
Nice.
woman that puts on the Sports Power Brunch at Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So excited to help her with the upcoming Sports Power Brunch in Vegas next year. So I'll be able to get a different side of, another large scale sporting event. So that's another version of some controlled chaos that I just can't wait to get my hands on. So those, I will say, those things are the most rewarding for me.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to connect with people outside of sports, and also being able to connect with my community and being able to be in those large scale events and just learning and networking and just being a sponge. Love it so much.
Now you mentioned being a PR consultant.
Mhm.
Is being an agent, have you closed the door on that? Whether it's being an agent for athletes or content creators or
Right.
broadcasters, or even being um PR consultants for, people in our, in our circles, right? People
Yeah.
who, because a lot of times people don't think that broadcasters have agents and PR consultants, but they're
Oh yeah. No.
getting bigger deals than they was before. So is that
Mhm.
something that you looking to pursue?
Yeah, I've always had that thought in the back of my mind. Not I thought about being an agent, but that door has officially closed.
Okay.
Once I did some more research and about it, and I was just like, and I got a chance to go to a conversation with everyone's favorite agent, Nicole Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also a soror. Shout out to you, girl. And just getting some good insight from her. And I was just like, as much as it sounds great, and you're able to be all these different things for these athletes, people don't understand how much capital you need and how much capital comes out of your own pocket to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that these players are successful.
Yeah.
So I was just like, love it, not my ministry, and that's okay, because I know my strong suits, and one of those things is just being able to uh be a PR consultant, and I like being able to see what the public is saying about you. Like, how do we fix your image? Like something that's like
Mm-hmm.
something like that I actually enjoy. Like, I want to eventually start my own firm, and do things, sometimes a little bit different from what I've seen traditionally. But I just want to know, kind of, it's me trying to learn what works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough, I want to tap in a lot more to those that are overseas.
Okay.
So those players that play basketball overseas, I use my cousins for example. All of them started out, playing basketball at one was at UConn, one was at Pitt, and another one was at Notre Dame. And I went from watching them in their yard to watching them on TV to now, seeing them overseas, but also listening to the struggles that they go through. Like, this person only wants me for this reason, or I'm a black man, so, and they don't have any black men on the team, so how do
Yep.
I go about doing it? So, and I also noticed that a lot of times they don't get the deals or the right advice, um when it comes to image or what you tweet, or what you post. We see that in the media right now, the
Yep.
consequences of what you post.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to find a way to kind of work a little bit more with those players overseas, because they don't get the same, care that those players here get. Because you got people jumping everywhere to try to help these NBA players or NFL players, what have you, but they don't get that same love over there. So I'm trying to figure out a way to do that, and I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to try to be one of those, leading women in PR, consulting, media relations, whatever you want to call it, for overseas players, because I'm able to actually get an inside look into what they go through and how they kind of struggle.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm excited for you, and
Thank you.
you already know whatever I can do to support. Let me know. So when you I gotta ask you this question: when you sit back and
Okay.
you look over your career so
Mhm.
far, when did you break through the glass ceiling? When did you realize like I'm
Ooh,
doing what I should be doing?
the very first time I got a job in sports. That
Mm-hmm.
for me, especially being told multiple times no. No, this is you're not gonna be able to do this. No, you can't, you didn't get this job. No, no, no. I was like, I'm gonna make it. I don't know how, but I'm gonna make it. And and I'm gonna just keep on scratching and clawing until I do. But when I got my first opportunity to work for a professional sports organization, I said, okay, I gotta I gotta I gotta keep it pushing. I gotta make sure that people understand and know that I'm not here just for what people think is the glitz and glamour of working in sports. I'm actually here to put forth some work and to show people that women belong in this realm. No matter, even though you may think that we don't, we belong here. Especially, I am the biggest advocate for Black women in the sports, um, because a lot of times we are unicorns. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can have a white person apply for the same job that I applied for. I may have all the credentials and then some, but I still may get turned away, and that's okay. But I'm gonna keep on going, and I'm gonna keep on encouraging people, and myself, to just keep it. Just don't take no for an answer all the time. Like, just keep it going, and having to go through certain hurdles. Something as small as like people being upset about the way I dress. I can wear the exact same thing as one of my coworkers, but I'm the one getting reprimanded. And it's weird to me a
Mm-hmm.
little bit. But once I got into my first role being in sports, I say, yeah, okay, I made it. Now I got to keep it pushing. Now I got to show other women, that you can make it. And I have college students that will find me on LinkedIn. I don't know how they come across me, but will find me on LinkedIn and just be like, hey, Calli, I want to talk to you. I see that you work for these organizations, or I see that you're doing this. Can I just talk to you for a second, kind of learn? And when I did, that made me feel good about myself. I'm just like, okay, y'all are actually seeing exactly what I'm trying to put out there. So being able to be mentors to some college students, it's been like a full circle for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not being going from being told no and not having a mentor to eventually finding one, and now I'm a mentor to other people. That makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so good because I'm just like, okay, now I might be onto something.
Yeah.
I might actually be onto something. So I make it a point to kind of continue to push other people, push other women, especially Black women or women of color, because I have a few Hispanic women that have come to me as well. You're a person of color. You're brown. Come talk to me and help me understand, how you got to this space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, that was icing on the cake. That did it for me. That made me feel really good that people are coming out the woodworks to ask me advice, and I'm honest all the time. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sugarcoat nothing for you. I'm not gonna try to make you feel better about what. No, I'm gonna tell you the real because nobody told me the real, and it's been helpful, thankfully, because people are just like, you told me that this was gonna happen, and it happened. So I want to thank you for that because now I was prepared. I do my best.
Man, this was so much fun. I'm so happy that, everybody got to hear your journey as
Yeah.
well as, just like, some insight on
Mhm.
what goes on with your role. Um, what's the one takeaway you want people to have when they come away from this episode?
Whew. Women are meant to be here.
Mm,
We're meant to be here. I'm gonna go ahead and close out Women's History Month with a bang. You're
there you
meant to
go.
be here. You keep on pushing, keep on striving. Don't take no for an answer. It's only temporary. You're gonna land whatever dream job, whatever dream role, or whatever you want. It's gonna happen. You just gotta keep working on it. That's it.
Wow, Callie, somebody needed to hear that, and I'm happy you said it. Uh, like I said, I appreciate you, appreciate your time,
Anytime.
and just everything that you're doing, and because you're protecting the culture in a lot of ways. And, especially behind the scenes, you know what I mean? Like, I did media relations. When we met, I was, like I said, I was at Johns Hopkins, and doing that for doctors and researchers, a lot of times, you gotta protect them from themselves because, for them, it's their reputation, right? They could put out the wrong research and, say that this cures something and it don't. But you're essentially, like, a lot of times you're protecting brands of athletes who could go out there and do the wrong thing and make themselves look bad and cost themselves millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Especially Black athletes. So, I just want, let you know I appreciate you. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter, right there, at Calli Kinsler. You can also find me on Instagram, Queen Milieka, Milieka. And hit me up on LinkedIn, Calli Kinsler. I'm here to answer any and all questions, give you any and all feedback. I'm here for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all connect with Calli. And remember, do not let anyone place a ceiling above your success. So long, everybody. Thank you for listening to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You can support this podcast by going on foryourwear.com. Go to personalities and see Brian H. Waters. There you can get Breaking Through Glass Ceilings t-shirt or a hoodie, as well as a No Ceilings Above Success t-shirt. Go to foryourwear.com. Make sure you also check out some of the other podcasters and professional wrestlers as well.